The Insta360 Ace and Ace Pro are capable action cameras I've reviewed before and come with AI features, great low light capability. But this flip screen is probably the thing that you'll notice first. The Ace Pro, unlike, for example, the GoPro, which just has like a small window on the front there to be able to see what you're recording, the Ace Pro and the Ace give you this great view that you get so you can frame your shots a lot easier. This is great for things like vlogging when you're looking at the camera, but that also means you can't see things behind the camera. So if this screen is down, for example, and you have this mounted on your chest like an action camera, you might have it on your helmet, that screen isn't going to do you much good. Being an action camera, you're probably going to want to mount this places like a car or a bike or just high up, places where you physically won't be able to see the screen. And that can make it more difficult to frame your shot and not realize that something wasn't in the frame until it's too late, until you're looking at the footage. So that's where this little Insta360 GPS preview remote, that's where it comes in. Hi everybody, Fox Nomad here, and today I want to help you travel smarter with my review of the Insta360 GPS preview remote. Now, Insta360 sent this to me, and I wasn't sure I was going to use it very much, let alone make an entire video, but I've actually found it quite useful and something that you might want to check out as well if you're going all in on action. The Insta360 GPS preview remote is a small rectangular block like a very thick smartwatch, and when you boot it up, it looks like one. That's no coincidence, and even though this design isn't ultra light, it is definitely wearable, which is why Insta360 has included a wrist strap. Using this black piece of plastic here, you fit in the preview remote and then use it as a second camera screen, which is transmitted directly from the Ace or the Ace Pro over Bluetooth. You'll be able to see what the camera sees and start and stop recording, as well as adjust settings from it. You can also use the GPS preview remote with the Insta360 X4, so you can get a frame preview as you're filming, but since those shoot in 360, the GPS remote is going to be most useful with the more traditional Ace line of action cameras. Unfortunately, at the time of the filming of this video, the preview remote is not compatible with the Insta360 X3. But whichever compatible camera you end up using, you're going to be able to use the GPS preview remote as a second screen that's being transmitted up to about 8 meters or 25 feet away. So you can set this up like here where it's not in sight, and then look at it here and move the camera if you want, or while you're recording, perhaps while you're riding your bike, you can use this as a screen if this one isn't accessible or visible. Remote controlling the Ace or the Ace Pro without the live preview works at longer distances of about 20 meters or 65 feet. Included in the box is also a universal strap you can use for bike handles or other places you want to tie the preview remote to so you can see it easily. The GPS preview remote is a touchscreen that not only lets you film, but also lets you remotely choose your mode from video to photo, as well as select frame rates and resolutions, all from the remote itself. The interface is a trimmed down version of the Ace and the X4 menus, so it will be familiar and you will quickly get the hang of it. The gestures, swipes, and major functions are all the same, and the touchscreen is pretty responsive, although sometimes you have to do multiple swipes from the top and the bottom, which seem a little bit less sensitive than swiping from the left or right. There's also real-time GPS data that's being tracked, and you can use it to overlay things like speed, elevation, and coordinates onto your footage through the Insta360 Studio app. For racing videos from cars or bikes or skiing, it can add a nice bit of data to the end result, or just be useful to see how fast you are going on that last slope. The only caveat though is you have to hit record from the preview remote, not the camera, to have that GPS data captured. Inside the 360 Studio app, you have a few different templates to choose from, and you can select custom overlays to your liking and go from there. You get about 5 or so hours of battery life from the preview remote when it's using image preview, and a solid 60 hours when it's in standby mode. It charges using this magnetic puck that's about as big as the remote itself and plugs in with a USB Type-A, not USB Type-C connector. About 5 to 6 hours of battery life for the GPS preview remote is pretty good because that's double the battery life generally of the Ace, Ace Pro, or the X4. So you can think of one GPS preview remote charge as like 2 charges of the Ace, Ace Pro, or the X4. Now, a few things: the GPS connections are slow to start at times before they lock onto a signal, and like I mentioned, the GPS preview remote only works with the X4 and Ace line of cameras. Since you're mainly going to be using this in action settings, the preview remote screen is just big enough to give you an idea of what you're shooting, to let you know if things are in frame or not. You can definitely tell that from the screen, and it's not over responsive to touch commands. So if you're on a bike or running, then it's not quite so sensitive that you're going to end up messing up the settings or turning off the recording intentionally. It's also IP68 water resistant, meaning it can get a solid splash of water and be submerged for 30 minutes in about 1.5 meters or 3 feet of water. The GPS preview remote lets you focus in on the action and spend less time having to deal with the camera or worry that you're not actually filming the things that you want to shoot. But action is the key word here. So at $150, if you're not doing a lot of action filming, if you're just mainly using like the Ace Pro for vlogging and things like that, you're not doing a lot of, mounting this camera in different places where you need to see the screen or need to see the field of view, then it's probably not going to justify the $150. I think for 360 cameras, it's definitely not. But if you're somebody who films a lot of action, if you're going to be mounting your camera, you find yourself putting this camera, up high places, on cars, bikes, like I said, and you want to be able to see what you're filming. You've had situations where things just weren't in your field of view, and then you went back later to review the footage and you were really sad that you didn't capture it, then the Insta360 GPS preview remote is going to be very useful for you. That's my review of the Insta360 GPS preview remote. Let me know if you have any questions down in the comments below, and while you're down there, hit the like and subscribe buttons. I'll have new videos for you every week, and I'll see you in the next video.